Invincible season 4 has officially ended, and in this video I'm going to be ranking my 6 top moments from season 4. Starting on number 6 is Nolan and Oliver's bonding time. It was in episode 6, I guess. I love this moment because it created a bonding time between these two characters. The last time these two characters were in the same space was in season 2, when Nolan was literally handing baby Oliver over to Mark. That was the last time they were together. Since then, they've had no interaction whatsoever. Nolan was nowhere to be seen. Oliver was with Debbie and Mark, enjoying life, being an earth boy, a proper earth boy. It felt so good to finally have them have a moment together in this season in episode 6. What I also liked about the bonding is us having to find out that Oliver likes bugs, bro. It's crazy because the apple don't fall far from the tree. I mean, his mom is a bug, so it makes sense for him to find attraction to other bugs like octopus and stuff. But yeah, that's it. If we hadn't got this moment between these two characters, we probably won't find out this information from Oliver or something, or maybe we'll find it in another way. But it felt so good to see him spending time with his dad, and also to see Nolan being a dad again. It was just a cool moment. Moment number 5 will have to be Eve getting pregnant. Bro, I'm not even gonna lie, I was thinking about when she showed us the testing of that she's pregnant. I was like, wait, is she? Like, I wasn't expecting them to adapt her getting pregnant in this season because we didn't see it coming from anywhere. And then the way they actually carried out the whole pregnancy stuff is crazy. At first, I was mad at her for not telling Mark that she's pregnant before Mark went for the Viltrum War. But then after watching episode 8 and seeing how she kind of like explained her POV very well to Mark, you know, considering that she wasn't sure if she should tell Mark that she's pregnant while Mark is out there fighting, is going to obviously mess with Mark's head since Mark is kind of fragile in that department. Let's not wake that up. But yeah, so Eve hiding it from Mark makes so much sense. And then she also explained why she had to abort the baby. I'm not gonna lie, when she revealed that she aborted the baby, I was like, damn, I was hoping to see little Mark and little Eve running around, but you know, we got what we got. Moment number 4 will have to be Nolan's backstory in episode 2. Bro, I'm not gonna say that I'm thinking about, because all of us were thinking about when we discovered that Viltrum has a rule, or let me say a culture, that allows parents to beat the shit out of their kids to find out if they are Viltrum enough or not. And then we found Nolan's parents beat the shit out of him. That took me aback, and it was definitely a top moment, bro. What sort of nonsense culture is this? It also makes sense because we saw Nolan beat the shit out of Mark in season 1. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. This is a running Viltrum culture, so Nolan is just, you know, upholding his culture and being a good Viltrumer that he should. But then seeing his parents beat the shit out of him was crazy. And what is even crazier is the fact that his mom was hell-bent in taking him out. Bro, if not for Nolan's dad, I think his mom would have actually ended up taking him out, which is crazy to me. I'm like, yes, you've seen that he can throw hands, you've seen that he's strong, he's not a weakling, he's a good Viltrumer. Why not just patch things up and, you know, tone it down a bit? She was hell-bent in taking him out. Top moment number 3 would be Nolan's apology to Debbie. This one had me going up in flames. I loved everything about this apology. The fact that Nolan felt the need to even apologize to Debbie, but I mostly like the fact that Debbie didn't give him a chance, or like didn't accept him in the first apology. Like, she stood her ground, was assertive, and told him that you cannot get this back. Like, things are never gonna be the same because you disrespected me the first time. You crossed a big line that I don't think you will ever come back from. But you know, I just love everything about it. Nolan's apology was heartfelt. It felt like he really meant the apology. Debbie's reaction was actually good as well, because I wasn't expecting her to take Nolan back after all this while. Even though comic Debbie did that, but I don't think it would have actually worked on the show's Debbie, because the show's Debbie is a completely entirely different woman from comic Debbie. So yeah, it all makes sense. It was intense. It pains me for Debbie because she actually bruised her hands while also trying to get Nolan out of her house. Like, it's so crazy. Debbie stood on ground, stood on business, and said, no, get that. Like, the way she was actually pronouncing the fuck. Shout out to Paul for actually understanding that, okay, I need to actually step back, you know, because it doesn't take one to actually know that Debbie is really in love with Nolan. It's just that she's putting up this wall because Nolan shouldn't get her back easily like that. So that's it. I want them to be back but if they're not back, I'm still not mad. Top moment number 2 will be Conquest's death. Conquest left everyone traumatized in season 3 with the way everything ended. It's crazy that Cecil took him and patched him up and Conquest is back alive, but I'm happy that Cecil actually did that because it gave us another opportunity to have a second Mark and Conquest showdown, and this time around it was really intense, bro. And it's crazy that Conquest did not survive this time around. The mere fact that Mark was able to take out Conquest by literally strangling him to death is crazy. But then Conquest didn't go out easily. He ripped out Mark's guts. Like everything about that fight, the scene, even when Conquest was behind Oliver in this shot, like everything about the whole fight was just peak. The showdown, if you ask me, is a tie. You wouldn't say, oh, Conquest won. You wouldn't say Mark won. But I would say that Conquest won in maybe resilience, because imagine being strangled by a deep grip like Mark was gripping him, and you still was able to, you know, stay alive long enough to rip out his guts and everything. Yeah, shout out to Conquest. Some people are saying that they feel like the fight was kind of too cheap and easy for a character like Conquest to go out. I don't think it's cheap, because who's going to withstand a grip like that from Mark for so long like Conquest did? I don't think anyone else can do that, considering that Conquest is already old. He's already an old grandpa and stuff, and he was able to still last that long and then try to also take out Mark before he went out. It's really a top moment. I love it. Now, before we get to the number one top moment for me in this season, I have some honorable mention, and the first honorable mention is Robot or Rudy not listening to Brit in, I think, episode 3 when they were fighting the sequels. Brit was telling him not to go under the sewer to, you know, check for the remaining sequels, but Robot defied his command and went ahead to go under the sewer to look for the sequels, and he eventually found out some sequels. Had he not gone under the sewer, the sequels will still be there and they will obviously be terrorizing the city as well. The last honorable mention for me is Mark killing the sequels guy. It's crazy because in season 3, Mark vowed to always kill anyone posing a threat to people he loves and stuff, and we saw him in season 4 take out this sequels guy. What made it even more crazy is the fact that the sequels guy is low-key innocent. He just possessed. Like, so in a way, Mark shouldn't have actually killed him because he's not doing it by his free will and stuff. So it made it a top moment for me because we weren't expecting Mark to actually go ahead and do, because we know Mark as to be someone that always says, oh, I'm gonna kill, and ends up not killing and whines about it as well. So him actually started on business and taking this sequels guy out is crazy and definitely a top moment. And now my top moment from Invincible season 4 will be the entire Viltron war. Bro, everything that was going on in that Viltron war was brutal and iconic and highly peak, if I must use the word peak. Bro, Trag, oh damn, Trag showed us why he's actually Trag and why he's actually the Grand Regent. Bro, the first time we saw Trag in this season 4, his aura and energy wasn't really giving what we were expecting, and the voice acting also was kind of like, it just didn't match with Trag, and you know what we had, like we were all looking at Trag or expecting him to be this endearing character, but the first time we saw him, he didn't really give that. In the episode 7 of Viltron War, Trag actually showed us why he's actually Trag. It felt like the voice acting enhanced. Lee Pace did a very good job voicing him. Like, he has this calm voice but a scary voice at the same time. Like, that contrast is so cool, and then the character itself was so powerful. Like, he executed so much power that, bro, it was just so cool. The entire fight, regardless of Trag, I love how everyone's hand was on deck. Tech Jacket was doing her thing. Alan, Space Racer, Battle Beast, Mark, and Nolan, bro, it was just so crazy. But what really stood out for me in that entire fight was Nolan and Trag's moment. The conversation Nolan had with Trag, where Trag was telling him to come back home and stuff, and Nolan was telling him, bro, it's already late, like, this is the lost cause and stuff. I thought it was really a very cool conversation, and the dialogue between them was just so cool. We also got a backstory to how Argyle was killed by Thaddeus. I just loved everything about it. And then to crown it all, Trag killing Thaddeus, bro, it was unexpected but kind of expected. Like, the fact that Trag ended up avenging Argyle's death is really a top moment for him and for us, the viewers, as well. What I love so much about the Viltron War is that Trag went on to still be endearing in episode 8, because Mark was thinking that they've gone to Earth to actually start destroying them and everything, but on getting to Earth they found out that, okay, nothing's actually happening, only for Trag to come with a truce. And I think the truce is actually cool. I've already said something about it in my last video, so you can also go check it out. But yeah, the Viltron War was really a top moment. I think it's actually the highest moments in the entire season, if we're keeping it a buck. These are my 6 top moments from Invincible season 4. If you made it to this level of the video, you are the real MVP. I really appreciate you watching my videos. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Share the video to your friends. I know you can do it. Let me know what you think about my top moments. Do you agree with the top moments? Do you have some other top moments that I didn't mention? Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna read all the comments, and let's just engage in comment section. It's like my best thing ever. Okay. I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm out of here.